Hello and welcome to another episode of College Collective, brought to you by Jibber Jabber. My name is Ibrahim.
And my name is Hassan, and this is a show where we talk about university life, problems, and just give our general advice.
So this week we wanted to talk about grades. All of us stress out about our grades. Grades are like this super important thing that really just determine everything at university basically. And we've all been there. You start off the course, you're doing really well, and then midterm season hits, and then you're just like, you have this course, you have that course, you have so many midterms all at once, and then you're bound to mess up one of them. And a lot of people get demotivated there because you get a bad grade, and then you're just like, damn, what do I do now? Like, it's just a struggle there. What are your thoughts, Hassan?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a random mid. It could be like a lot of pressure, but more likely than not, in university, you were out partying, you were out sleeping a little bit too
Hassan with
much.
the
You spent way
facts.
too much. You were spending way too much time on YouTube, on Netflix. You ain't gotta lie, we all been there, and you realize you thought, okay, yeah, I did decent. You walk out the exam hall, your friends are like, yo, I got this. You're like, whatever, whatever. I did chill. You think you did decent, and the grades come out, and you're like, yo, I did not do decent at all, my guy. I'm out of this. I'm straight up. So you realize, yo, I did not even reach where I wanted to, and now this can be really stressful if this is your first time.
Yeah.
Now you're wondering, wait, can I make it through rest of the course? Is it possible? Should I drop the course? Will I is I mean, I remember when I first had that idea, it was just crazy. It was like I thought if you drop a course, you're a loser and you're like wasting time of your life and you have no clue what you're doing and you're I just thought it's the worst thing in the world. But honest to God, it's a really good option. And me and Ibrahim are going to tell you when, well, we're going to give our advice when we think you should, why you shouldn't, and why it's actually a good option.
Yeah.
So why don't you go on
Before
and tell
that,
us,
bro,
Ibrahim,
the
why?
thing about you said
Go for it. Tell
when
me.
you come out of the exam hall after a midterm and you have like all your friends just talking about what the answer is, they're like it's 5.3, it's like 6.2, they're having that discussion, all the smart kids, and you're
Yeah,
just like,
yeah, yeah.
damn, my answer was like the sun, and you're like,
Yeah, I
you're
swear
like,
it was.
"Oh,
I
what do I
swear to
do
God.
now?" You just gotta put your hoodie on, put your head down, just run away. It's at that point, it's the
I
worst feeling
swear to
ever.
God.
That's why I've just
But
I've just stopped asking what people got because everybody
yeah,
always has different answers and that it just screws your brain up so
genuinely.
much. But
Exactly, exactly.
I know we've both been there where we get the same answer and we're
That's
both
free. That's free advice for all of you. You don't need to discuss, especially when you have midterms back to back to back. It's better not to discuss because if you get demotivated by one, it might affect the other one, and then you'll get demotivated again, and you'll just do worse in the other one if you're one of those
I
people.
swear
So it's much better to just if you're one of those people that know they messed up and works harder, and is like, no, I won't let the next one go to trash. Then
straight
hey,
up.
you do you, my guy. You do
Bro,
you.
just
Go
just
for
tr-
it.
just trust your gut and just believe in your answers even if it's wrong. Just have
Yeah,
belief. You
for
don't wanna
real.
ask the smart kids. It never works. Maybe like once in like 10 times you might have the same answer, but you know,
You ever think the smart kids probably don't even ask anyone? People
people
just
just run
come
up
to
to
them.
them like,
It's
"Yo,
like,
what did you get? What did you get?"
yeah, even the smart kids don't like sharing it
That's how
anyways.
you know you're
But
smart. When
yeah,
people come up to you and ask you what you got, that's how you know you're smart. That's
that's for
just
real. You leave an exam
just
hall and you're a
alpha over
celebrity,
everyone.
you're a genius. You're a genius.
Oh, bro.
So,
Yeah.
you were gonna tell us about why dropping is actually a decent option.
I honestly, I don't think it's a decent option to be honest. I think
Okay, then give it back to me honestly.
more often than not, you don't want to drop the course. But I
Uh-huh.
think dropping the course is the last option you have, and there's many other options you can explore before you decide to
Right.
drop. Do you have different ideas on that, Hassan?
Yeah, I actually
Go for
have
it.
a complete different view on it. I think dropping is one of the best things university offers you, honestly,
Okay.
because I agree with Ibrahim. There's a lot of things you can do, but it shouldn't be your last option. I think your last option. It should be your second last option, in the way that like if you know yourself, again, we always tell you guys to like have goals and understand how you study and how well you're doing in the course. Stay, just keep track of yourself. So if you know yourself and you know, damn, this course, I'm basically just walking on toes. I'm barely like making it. I'm crawling. I'm dying. It's not possible. Then instead of taking a F or a I don't know, a G or a U, if that even exists, a G. But if you
Okay.
instead of like taking all the alphabets all the way to Z, it's much better if you just take the W and say withdrawn, and you come back at it at another time. At least that way your GPA won't get messed up, and you'll have a decent view of it. So if you're sure, then I think dropping is a good option. Also, if you know you need to get a B and you have two, three quizzes left and a final left, and right now the drop option is ending, and you're already at a B. Chances are you're not going to get 100% in the next four things as
Hmm.
well. It's probably better to drop, come back at it another time. Maybe when you have less courses in the same semester, or maybe when you're wiser. Don't you agree, Ibrahim?
I think when you get
Do
to
you
when you
actually
get to
think
the
now?
point where when you're at that B, you're already at the last stage. There's so many other stages before that. Because okay, say you start your semester,
Okay.
okay, and you hit the
Right,
first
right,
midterm week. I think most universities have a midterm or maybe two midterms. So let's just say you're at
right,
the midterm stage, and you get like a bad grade, like you flunk one of your midterms. You always have another midterm to catch up. And say you fail both your midterms. Uh,
right,
as long as you still have like a little bit of a gap, like maybe you just need to secure 5% and you can still pass, go for it. I like to have the thinking
right.
of work hard and be optimistic. I think I never want to acknowledge that dropping is even an option. I don't think it should be an option. Um,
Hmm.
because more like oftentimes you're about to fail a
Right,
course and then you clutch it at the end, and even if you're failing the course, the professor ends up curving the grades because chances are all your friends are also failing it and most of the class is not doing good. So I think you should wait for until maybe the last day of like the last day of dropping classes. And if you're 100% certain you're gonna get an F, like if you have 50% like overall, then
right.
okay, drop it. But before that, you have other things
Yeah.
you can do. You know.
Now I agree with you on that point. When I'm saying like go for drop it, I'm saying like wait for the last week, which is basically almost halfway into the semester, where you go like, okay, you're finally allowed to drop the course now or it's never.
Hmm.
Only at that time should you make a decision like, yeah, nah, I won't make it. Anything earlier than that, I mean, hey, if you're sitting on a D and it's only been like a month in, then yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's fair.
you do the maths, my guy. In those cases, me and Ibrahim aren't dumb. We're not saying don't drop. In that case, go for it, my guy. You're already done with the course. You already got knocked out, my G.
True.
It's over.
True. True. True.
Uh,
I
but I
guess a
agree with
W is better than an
Ibrahim.
F on the
Yeah,
transcript.
A W is better than F. At least, I mean, if I was going to an employer, I'd be able to explain the W. I'd be able to go like, look, I know my limitations. I bit off a little bit more than I could chew. I realized, and I wanted to focus more on this heavy course, some big maths course. So I decided I'll take this course later. So I withdrew from it.
Hmm.
That's better than trying to take on everything and then failing. Because trying to explain why you failed is like it shows that you don't have an. I mean, it kind of shows incompetence. It shows you don't have as well of an understanding of yourself
That's
or
true.
your own limits. You know.
Yeah.
So it's much easier to explain a W, if you ask me, than to explain a F.
A W is a W at the end of
Uh,
the day.
exactly, exactly.
But yeah, that's
So
why in the beginning,
it also, I
yeah, go
think
for it.
one, before I give it back to you, one thing
Yeah.
though, it again, you got to know yourself as a person. Like Ibrahim as a person, I'll tell you, as he's my friend, I've seen it. Ibrahim is one of those people, like when it's clutch time, he straps up his boots, he sharpens up his pencil and stuff, whatever metaphor you want to add on to it.
Sharpens up his
He
pencil.
tips his cap, he tips his cap, bro. He's like he's doing backflips, he's ready to like run. My guy goes full on crazy. He pulls back everything and he clutches. Ibrahim's just one of those people. But there are some people that can't do that, and you should be able to know if you can or you can't, or if you have the motivation for that.
That's
And
fair.
that also makes a lot of difference. But go on,
That's
Ibrahim.
fair. No,
Sorry
I
to
was just
interrupt you.
saying
Tell
that,
me what you were gonna say.
as you said, you know yourself the best, and the only person that can make the judgment is you. So especially maybe not in your first year because you're new, but like as you
Hmm.
progress your second, third year, you get to pick your own courses. So I think
Right,
you should never ever course load. Like don't go for 18 credits. Take like less credits, but make sure you have so you
right,
have enough time for everything. Because a lot of times when people do mess up their midterms, like I said, you have a lot of midterms like stacking up, and that happens when you have a lot of
right.
courses together. And then
I
you're like,
agree.
for example, you're taking a really hard math course. All your time is getting focused on that math course, and then the other courses are struggling. You might pass all your courses, but you won't get like an A in the other courses. So you're at the end of the day, you end up screwing yourself over. So it's better to take like
Exactly.
normal courses, take a few electives, take some math courses, your major courses, and just try to mix it up and balance it out. It's good
Exactly.
to try to overachieve. It's good to try to think that yo, I'm gonna be able to do this, 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 and this. But more times than not, you're just like, why do I keep doing this to myself?
I
Here
mean,
we
like
go
we mentioned
again.
before, yeah, for
Every
real. Here
semester.
we go again. Like we said before, set smart goals.
Yeah,
Don't have four math courses and two of your engineering courses all in one semester and be like, yeah, that's one semester. I'm gonna finish engineering in 1 year. Like, you're bound to fail.
honestly, that's whack.
Um, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's exaggeration, but you get my point. So don't do that. And like Ibrahim says, it's about time management. We're not saying go slow, but we're saying don't go too fast. There's no need to like jump head first into everything and then later realize you bumped your head.
Hmm.
Just slow down, take it at a moderate pace, go 16, 17 credits, have two, three easy courses mixed in with three hard courses or two hard courses. And that way you'll be able to get good grades and keep a nice GPA overall and have fun. Honest to God, you can't have any university life if you decide to just go crazy and go fast. And there's no that's so I don't know. That's just not how I wanted university.
Yeah.
I don't. What
I mean,
about you,
like
Ibrahim?
like
Don't you
like we
think?
said, you don't want to compromise on fun. You don't want to compromise on academics. So
Exactly.
be smart about it. But it's gonna ask you, bringing back to the topic of dropping a course. When would you want to make that decision? Like what has to happen before you be like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I have to drop this course.
Right.
What's the thought process
Right.
behind that?
Yeah. I mean, there could be many reasons, and I know you'll mention the next one when I don't mention one. But I'll go for the we were gonna throw it back and forth, but I'll go for the one where it's like, okay, you have a limitation. So let's say your GPA is like 3.2. So you know you gotta get at least B plus and above,
Okay.
and that's your goal. And you're like, okay, maybe one course I can get a B minus, whatever. So you're taking seven courses, and now like you already have one course that's sitting on a B minus, and you have another one sitting on a B minus. In cases like these, maybe I'd start thinking like, okay, I mean, there's a lot of things you have to check as well. You have to check like, okay, how is the professor? Will he give me any extra coursework that could help me pick myself back up? Is there
Will
a
he
lot of
take one for
stuff
the team
left?
and curve everyone's grade by like 10%?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of things to factor in. Exactly. There's a lot of things to factor
True.
in, but if you know, like, if you have a boundary, like, I need to get B plus and only,
Yeah.
and you're already sitting on a B minus, and there's still final and like one quiz left, maybe it's better to drop one and just try to focus on one on ending only one on B minus instead of
True.
two. And I know B minus is like, again, that won't affect your GPA as much. But if you end up on a D, then like that same 3.2 will drop by a lot just because you got a D grade. So in cases like these, I'd say, okay, when the pressure is way too much for you, you should look into withdrawing from a course. I mean, this is what any advisor would tell you, I think. What about you, Brian? What do you think? When should someone
I think
decide, yo,
okay, yeah,
maybe
so for example, you
get
get
that course?
a few bad grades here and there in a course. I think the
Right,
first thing you should
right.
do before making any judgments yourself is your voice crack. Before making any judgments
Don't
yourself.
worry.
Oh my god, this happens. Yeah, so before you make any
They're
judgments,
they're judging. Yeah, They're just judging us now, to be honest.
Well, okay.
No,
Anyway,
no,
so
go
you
on, go
have
on.
a bad grade. The first thing you should do before making any decisions or anything you might regret, go straight to the professor.
Hmm.
Professors have office hours,
Right.
and they're always there to help you out. So go to the professor and have a conversation with them, because you can ask them, where am I standing? What are the potential curves? Maybe you can have a retest, or just bargain a little. Ask them how they can help you
True.
out, because they have a lot of good
True.
advice to give. I know for one of our courses last semester. So last
Hmm.
semester we went online, so that messed up a lot of people's grades. And one of these courses I was about to
Right.
fail. Like, I think I passed that course by literally 1%. So
For the first time
I
ever.
had to be real clutch for that. But the
For
thing,
the people that don't know, Ibrahim has a very nice GPA.
okay,
He doesn't fail courses, mashallah.
I wouldn't say that. I literally almost failed this course. I had to take the pass fail option.
Okay, one in ever. God bless the
Alhamdulillah,
pass fail option, to
I
be honest.
do all right, alhamdulillah. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
So you were saying, so you were
I did a
almost
bad
about to
midterm. I
fail?
think I got like 12 out of 20 on my midterm, which is literally a
Right,
fail
mad.
almost. Like, that's jokes.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, if I'm probably gonna fail this course, so I sent an email to the professor and I talked to the professor, and they're like, yo, no worries. A lot of other kids also did bad, so we're gonna have a third midterm to make up for it. So, I got lucky there 'cause the professor is nice, but then if I didn't talk to the professor and I dropped the course, then I would have messed it up for myself. So go to the professor, talk to the professor, and see what they can do. Because a lot of times they're gonna help you out.
Right.
I,
Yeah, I agree with Ibrahim. Check out your horizons before you make the decision.
true.
I do agree with that too. So you could check with your professor, you could ask your advisor for help. You could just do the calculation in your head if you have a lot more of the course left. There's a lot more things you could lose marks on. Be honest with yourself. Then yeah, then maybe you should drop. Or else, if there's only a final left, maybe you could just clutch it and end up with the same grade you're sitting on now.
Sir.
You know, you just gotta have that dedication. You gotta be like, yo, no more lower than this. I'm at a B plus. That's it. I'm gonna clutch this final and end on a B plus. I don't care. And hey, if he even curves, you might end up on an A minus. That's
C
amazing.
plus
It's
to
really
A
not
minus.
bad.
That's the dream curve right there.
I swear to God. So
I mean, it's not like
yeah,
it's not
check out
happened.
your horizon.
Oh, yeah, I agree with Hassan there.
Yeah, exactly. So except for that, you gotta make sure you dedicate your time right for each courses. Just look at the course. Have ideas from university students, from seniors, and use Rate My Professor and websites like that to get an overall idea of like, okay, how hard the course will be, how much time it will require from you. And that way you can pick your courses. It's all about planning, honest to God. Everything in university is about, if you plan all of this right, it's all smooth sailing
Yeah.
and it's really easy,
Also, with these
you know?
courses, like, after you take a few quizzes and finish some midterms, you get an understanding of, like, what the professor is like,
Hmm.
what kind of questions they bring, and what they're gonna bring out of their slides. So by the time you get to your final, you already know what's gonna come. So it's really easy to be clutch at that point. So
That's
don't
true.
if you already failed the course, like, for sure, then you can take that W and withdraw. I don't know why we're calling it
Yeah.
a W, but I see it more as an
It's
L.
a
But
L.
it's an L. Take the L.
It's hidden in
It's
a
a
W.
smart
It's
L,
okay.
so it's like a hit. It's like a W.
That's just a
So
W.
take that
That's
W
why
and
it's a
dip.
W.
But, like, if you have, like, maybe, like, for say, like, 5 or 4% to work with, and you could maybe pass, I think take your chances and go for it. Cause just have an optimistic mindset and just be clutch. Being clutch is comes in
Exactly.
handy.
Yeah, for real. I mean, in the end, just final advice would be like play the what if scenario.
Yeah.
Play it in your head like, yo, I have this grade now. How bad will it be for me? How much do I have left? I've said it quite a few times, but that should make it more obvious if the risk of continuing is worth the reward. And if there's nothing to win, if you've already lost, you can't get the grade you wanted at all, then it's probably better to come back again at some other time. Most of the time, people mature up and get smarter in time, but they come back, and once upon a time a course was difficult, at a different point of time in their life, it's very easy. Uh, So, yeah, take your time, and I think that's all I have to say about the topic. What
Yeah,
about
man,
you,
just take
Ibrahim?
your time, have fun, and believe in yourself. As
Balance
cliche
things
as it
out,
is, believe in yourself because
for real.
it's
Just before we go, make sure we're not condoning anyone to take 7 courses and drop six, okay? If you do that, don't come back like, yo, College Collective told me I should take 7 and drop six so that I can party. They were saying have fun. Having fun's important, like my guy.
nah, man.
I mean, if you,
We're saying don't drop
uh,
any courses unless you have to. And again,
yeah,
I still
exactly.
stand by dropping a course is your last and final option. When you're guaranteed gonna fail, then you can take the withdrawal option. But if you
I mean,
even if you
that's
have the
Ibrahim.
slightest
Yeah,
of
Ibrahim's take
chances,
is
go
that.
for it.
Right, Ibrahim says that. I'll just stick to the topic. It says bad grades. Should you drop? I'd drop. If I'm sure I'm gonna
I'd
get a
keep it.
bad grade, I'd drop.
I'd keep
Okay,
it.
Ibrahim would keep it, but then you'd repeat.
True, if it's a terrible grade, you could end up repeating. And that's the thing. Like,
Exactly.
what if it's you got a terrible grade and then you're just like it's fine because the next semester you get good grades. It just fixes up your GPA. You know, if you withdraw from a course, you're
Right.
gonna have to take it again for sure. So you might as well get a
Okay, but
bad grade.
let's say you're,
Yeah, go for it.
but Ibrahim, let's say you're in like uni like
Yeah,
ours, and you have co-op next semester, and yeah, you can go get it repeated, but you rather have the W and it not affect your GPA temporarily, then rather have it corrected later because it's going to be harder to explain to your worker a 2.9 compared to just having a 3.2 with the W. I know it won't drop by that much, but like you get my
that's fair.
point, right?
That's fair.
So in certain things like these, like if you know next sem, whatever you have coming up, you have a job or internships. Maybe it's the end of spring semester and you have summer coming up. You want to look for a job, and you know what this one course is about to give you an L, and you're about to drop your GPA because of it. It's probably better to get a W written on it and keep your GPA higher because it'll help you get that internship and job, and then later on go and correct it. So in cases like these, 100% I'd say
True.
withdraw.
Might as well just I
You
think
like it's much
assess
better.
the situation depending on
Yeah,
what's going on in your life. But I agree with you
exactly. And
there.
what do you
Spot
have
on.
coming up? Exactly. I think we've covered almost everything
Straight up.
about this
Let us
topic.
know if you've ever dropped courses or if you disagree with us. Because I know a lot of people
Yeah. Let
do like dropping courses, adding courses. So let us know what you think in the
yeah,
comments if you can comment. Like, subscribe, like usual. You know, we really appreciate that.
always, always, always. And yeah, I think bad grades. Should you drop the course? Uh, I think that's the wrap of that episode. College Collective. That's it from us. See you
See
guys.
ya.